In a world overrun with the fake, delusional, and disingenuous, he stands as a beacon of truth. He is Abuki Cabal. You are listening to Abuki Cabal.
Welcome to the Abuki Cabal Show.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Sorry, I've been off for a couple of weeks, guys. I've been working myself to death here. Unfortunately, we had some shortages with some of the scheduling, so I had to pitch in. But I'm back and got some goodies for you. This one's been up for a little while, but they're trying everything that they can to try to keep from getting the shot. Everything from making up stuff to just trying everything that they can that's been put into the toolkit to protect people who actually need protections from workplace discrimination because of religious beliefs or whatever the case may be. As you can see here, citing religious beliefs to avoid the COVID-19 vaccine could cost you your job. Laws dictate that employers must make reasonable accommodations for workers who refuse to be vaccinated because of religious beliefs, but in some jobs, an accommodation may not be possible. You see in this tweet here, it says lots of workers are claiming religious exemptions to COVID vaccination mandates. How does that work? And is it a get out of vaccination free card? Short answer is no. Wow. So, along with that, you got other stories here. Pull up a couple for you. Here we got the good old New York police unions trying to get out of vaccinations. And if you work in a job like mine, or you're a policeman, a firefighter, or a public service worker, you know that you have to be vaccinated in order to work that job. That is a part of the application process. You cannot get the job without having the appropriate vaccinations, the same vaccinations that are required for schools, colleges, high schools, elementary schools, any kind of school. Used to give them when I worked in pediatrics. These things have been around for ages and have been shown to work for ages, and people are still citing the same old nonsense. Autism and all kinds of things that have been disproven by research, and the research has been posted on reputable sources, but you still have people out here who are using these public platforms and multimedia sources to spread disinformation. So you have to be careful about what you consume and what you believe. So I'm going to read this story for you here. A New York judge denies police union's request to halt New York City vaccine mandate. Okay, a New York State judge on Wednesday rejected a police union request to temporarily halt New York City's stringent vaccine mandate for city municipal workers, which means that workers who do not comply with the mandate by the end of this week will be put on unpaid leave. And that was October the 28th. Okay. So, before I finish this, they were expecting thousands of people to take advantage of this. And I think the number was something like 30 officers or something like that. Maybe even less than that. but it was far less than what was being, projected to keep people from going ahead and complying with the mandate. And we're seeing this all over the place. You hear these stories about, well, there's so many nurses, there's so many doctors that are not getting vaccinated. Well, that's not supported by any numbers that are being released. The ones down in Houston that chose to not be vaccinated, hey, that's on them. But if you're unintelligent enough to be in the medical field, any aspect of the medical field, and you don't know how to go and read current information as well as information that's not even available to the public without you digging really hard to get it, and you'll see that all that information indicates that there is no need to run around like you're on fire because you're being required to take an additional vaccination in order to protect yourselves and to protect the public from dying from this disease. So, a lot of people are saying, well, look, people are getting the vaccine and people are still getting sick. Yes, it does not prevent the spread of infection. That's why it's dumb for people to be out here and not wearing masks. But yet you see here in my state, you see people, I go get gas and nobody's wearing masks. People even taking down the signs, as if everything's over. And the numbers here are still above what they were last November. Last October, the numbers are still above that. We're not, and that was, when we were locked down. So we're not out of the woods yet. And people are foregoing flu vaccinations this year, something that we're making strides at doing better at. And now people are just pulling back from any and every vaccination because of fear, uncontrolled and unnecessary fear. And at some point, it's got to stop. So let's move on with this article here. So here's some of the key facts. In her ruling, Judge Lizette Colon said the mandate can go into effect as scheduled on Monday, but city officials will need to appear in court to defend the requirement against the police union lawsuit. The decision means police officers, firefighters, and most other city workers will have to show proof that they have received at least one vaccine dose by 5 p.m. Friday, or they will be put on unpaid leave starting Monday. Applications for medical or religious exemptions were due on Wednesday, and workers who have applied for them will be allowed to work with weekly testing while their requests are considered. Reacting to the ruling, the president of the Police Benevolent Association, which had filed a lawsuit, said the mandate sets the city up for a real crisis and will inevitably result in fewer cops available to protect our city. So basically, that's just a veiled threat that didn't go through, I might add. Same thing, I'm hearing nurses saying the same thing, that basically, if they do this, they won't have enough nurses. There's already a nursing shortage. There's been one. It'll be worse. But if you don't want to work, nobody's going to make you. Guess what? I'll take your hours. And I will get that paper. And I know armies of nurses who are willing to get out there and go get that paper, and take care of these patients like we went to school to do. When you go to nursing school, when you go to medical school, whatever, x-ray school, whatever the case may be, lab technician, you have to have vaccinations in order to work in that environment. That environment is full of illnesses. We're starting to even see a resurgence in illnesses due to the fact that people are no longer getting vaccines that we weren't having issues with. So who knows? We may start seeing polio again. We may start seeing, measles, mumps, rubella. We may start seeing those things again. because these people seem to think that everything was better before medicine because they don't read. They've forgotten the lessons that we have learned from the past. I guess they'd rather be living in a cave and throwing their bones over in the corner on a dirt floor, and everything will be better because they're eating, and living naturally according to them. But what they don't realize is that disease comes with that. Diseases that kept the numbers of human beings on this planet minimized, compared to what they are today. All you have to do is read. It's all out there. You got social media at your fingertips. You've got Google at your fingertips. There's so much history. Everything that you need to know to make, a decision, an informed decision, is at your fingertips. If you can't do that, it's because you're lazy, or it's because you just don't want to know. You're stuck in your feelings and your beliefs about something that is inaccurate and, quite frankly, not real. I mean, and it's bordering on a condition, a medical condition, a diagnosable condition. It's getting pathetic out here. But let's move along. Early on Wednesday, the head of the Uniformed Firefighters Association, a union of the city's firefighters, told Reuters he had asked unvaccinated members to report to duty on Monday in defiance of the vaccine mandate. Okay, says big number, 46,000 of the number of New York City municipal workers who had not been vaccinated out of the total of 300,000 workers as of last week. The New York Times reported around 73% of the NYPD personnel had received at least one vaccine dose as of Tuesday, according to Police Commissioner Dermot Shea. Okay. Tangent. Daniel A. Negro, the commissioner of New York City Fire Department, told Gothamist that he expects up to 20% of the firehouse and ambulances in the city will remain out of service on Monday due to expected staff shortages for the mandate. To deal with this shortage, Negro said, the FDNY is canceling all vacation days starting November 1st, requiring people to work overtime and reassigning all desk-based uniformed workers back into the field. Okay, Mayor Bill de Blasio said on Wednesday that the city has been preparing for the expected staff shortages and added that every one of the commissioners has been absolutely confident that they can make the adjustments. De Blasio noted that he expects nearly all workers will ultimately get vaccinated rather than lose their pay. The city, however, is making one exception to its vaccine mandate due to the staffing shortages at Rikers Island Prison Complex. Uniformed corrections officers will be given time till December 1st to get their first dose. According to the New York Times, the Department of Corrections has the highest proportion of unvaccinated workers, with only half of the workforce being inoculated. In other key departments like emergency medical services, fire, police, sanitation, more than a quarter of employees were unvaccinated as of last week. Okay. Now you have all those corrections officers who are unvaccinated. Now, pretty much those people are already in isolation, so if they weren't already sick with some type of ailment, then the chances of them getting it from the outside world should have been almost nil. But the way that the virus got into these controlled environments is through the officers, through these unvaccinated officers who interacted with, the public out and brought that into the prisons. And we're seeing that all over the country. And if you look for those prison numbers, you'll see them. Here in my state, they were atrocious, and they still are. And the deaths that were going on inside of the prisons were terrible. Their ability to quarantine inmates is not as good as if they were on the outside. So, as you know, if you see a barrack situation, or if you look at a barrack situation, just Google the pictures. It could rage through that place like a wildfire. So those things have to be taken into consideration. It's an infection control risk that could have been avoided. So that's one. Okay, so let's look at another article that came out where the judge in LA did the same thing. Okay, judge denies LA Police Union's request to block COVID vaccine mandate. Judge on Wednesday denied a request by the Los Angeles Police Union that he blocks the city's COVID-19 vaccination mandate for police officers from taking effect. Having rejected the Police Protective League's petition for a temporary restraining order, California Superior Court Judge Mitchell L. Beckloff must still rule on a related request for a preliminary injunction, which would halt the mandate for the officers while a lawsuit the union filed against the city over the rollout of the vaccine requirements goes forward. A court hearing on the injunction is scheduled for next month. The judge did not explain the reasoning for his decision, deciding for his decision in court records available online Tuesday. Under the city's mandate, all city employees, including police officers, are required to be fully vaccinated by December the 18th until they are granted a medical or religious exemption, and agree in the run-up to the deadline to submit to regular coronavirus testing if they are unvaccinated. The union negotiated the terms of the deal with city officials, but later sued over its rollout, alleging the city's negotiated in bad faith, preemptively concluded negotiations, and inappropriately passed on the cost for testing to the officers. Okay. Now that's crazy. So, yeah, that's enough of that. I guess we'll, that pretty much gives you an idea of what we're dealing with. And you just have people who are just reaching for anything that they can pull out to make it appear that they have some sort of exemption. And, I'm going to be doing another story here where, they're starting to even wear the gold stars that the Jews wore when they were in Germany, going to the extermination camps. And they're trying to equate this to genocide, which it's not. It's getting out of hand. People are acting in the worst ways. And we're supposed to be a civilized society. But it would be funny if it wasn't funny, but I'll keep watching, and I will keep trying to get information out to you guys as I have time to, in order to keep you guys informed so that you can make informed decisions for you and your families and to protect yourselves from the potential deadly effects of this virus. Don't believe what people say. Believe what you read. The information is out there. I give you links. I give you sources. You can always go back, look at them. The information does change, but the information changes on a daily basis because information comes in on a daily basis. So don't be deterred when looking for information and trying to find out what's really going on. And don't rely on Facebook and all this other garbage out here. They have their own problems. But I appreciate you guys sticking with me. And I will keep digging for you. Thank you guys for sticking with me. And please like, share, and subscribe.
You are listening to Abuki Cabal, the analytical savage.
I feel like a motherless